today to answer all your questions, to show you a little bit about my brand, and just to give you all some insight on what Lillian looks like from behind the scenes. So I have a few questions here that people have asked me over the months, or they DM me questions for me to address, so let's get started. So the first question is, who is Lillian? Okay, so Lillian is my grandmother. She is like my heart and soul. Actually, she's kind of like my doppelganger. We look exactly alike. It's strange. We have the same laugh. We both have an obsession with chocolate. So my grandmother is pretty much my heartbeat, and she really inspires me. So I thought, why not make a brand modeled after my kind of like my free spirit grandmother. Lillian is just kind of like a fun, classy name. It's also really vintage, because with my brand, I feel like I incorporate a lot of new styles, but I'll always have that kind of like old nostalgic feeling to it, like especially from the 70s. And I think my grandmother, her style in the 70s was like pretty like A1. So I think that's why I named it Lillian. And then the and E part is because my middle name's Elizabeth, and she kind of gave me that name. So yeah. The next question is, why did you start making jewelry? To be honest, I've always been in art classes. I've always thought of myself to be very creative. I've always had the dream of being a fashion designer or something creative or artistic. And I think it was last summer in July, I came home after college, not really knowing what to do. And I kind of just started fiddling around, looking on Pinterest, because Pinterest, I'm addicted to it, and seeing kind of like DIY stuff. And I realized, wow, I could really make jewelry. And I think, you know, I don't know if y'all are religious, but I feel like God kind of like told me to do it. And then I made my first Etsy account, and on the first day I pretty much sold out of all of the things on the website. So I realized I could really continue this and make a real business out of making jewelry. So that's kind of how I got my start. What are your goals for the company? Okay, so I mean, I love jewelry. Most of my jewelry kind of has like a bohemian 70s feel, but I also love fashion in general. I've worked in retail for like the past 4 years. I really just like, you know, making stuff. So I feel like I want to expand the brand by making more than just jewelry eventually. Possibly making apparel, so stay tuned for maybe some apparel coming soon, you never know. Where have you sold jewelry? So I started selling on Etsy, and then I created my own website that's linked to Etsy. So most of my sales are online. I've sold to countries like Norway, I've sold in South America, I've sold in Hawaii, I've sold in North Carolina, Texas, Alabama, Montana, California, Maine, Washington, D.C., just a bunch of different places. On top of that, I've done a few pop-up shops recently in the early part of 2018, so I've been able to sell my jewelry to people at markets, which is really cool because they're pretty honest with you about your products and how you present it, and that's really taught me a lot about myself as a businesswoman, and then also how people perceive my jewelry. The next question is, what kind of music do you listen to when you make jewelry? Okay, so that's like a really cool question for me. I think I listen to a lot of Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac when I make jewelry. I like Fleetwood Mac and I like Stevie Nicks because it's kind of like a carefree, free-spirited type of music, and it just kind of gets me in the mood to making jewelry. I also listen to a lot of Lauren Jones and Joni Mitchell. When I'm really trying to speed and finish these orders, I might put on some Lil Yachty or some Drake to just kind of get me in the zone of like, okay, Anna, you need to fast forward and make this stuff. But obviously I still want to make quality jewelry, so I'm not really rushing, but depending on my mood is kind of how I like gauge the type of music I listen to when I make jewelry. And then what supplies do you use? I get that question a lot. I kind of get my supplies from everywhere. I mean, you can always go to your local craft supply store like Michael's or Hobby Lobby and get jewelry supplies, especially like getting tools like this. I use this pretty much to make most of the jewelry I make. And then I'll go to places like Beat It Austin. I'll go to different markets, you know, to get like natural gemstones, geodes. Pretty much anywhere I find supplies to make jewelry, I'll definitely go and then get it. And it's kind of cool too because you can make jewelry that's original, like no one will be able to make the same piece because you're getting it from different places. You're not just getting it from one wholesale place, so I really like that. What does it mean to be a Black entrepreneur? That's like a really hard question, but also like a really good question to think about. My friend published an article, and my answer to that was that it honestly feels really honorable to be a Black entrepreneur because you know, if you think back to your ancestors or my ancestors and how, you know, they were slaves that came to America and they had to work really hard but never really saw the fruits of their labor. I feel like I get to see the fruits of my labor and I'm basically like honoring them. I feel like I have my ancestors' wildest dreams, and to be able to do what you love every day, to be able to, you know, see the accomplishments or see the results is really satisfying, and to always think to work hard and to be humble is really important. And I think that being a Black entrepreneur, you kind of have to exemplify that in a sense. Just opening doors for people to come. Like, I know that there will be other girls out here who want to have their jewelry business, and I want to be able to say that I can help them or pave the way for other African American women who want to be in business, because you never really think that you can do something like this until you see other people. So I think representation is really important too. Also, being a female entrepreneur, I think that's really important too. Women being able to do whatever they want to do and to be successful at it is really important, and it's honestly accomplishable. And just remember to always, I guess, follow your dreams and never give up. And even if you're told you're silly, or if someone says you're not going to be good at it, I had someone tell me, like, your designs are way too simple. You know, there are people who like different things, and so never like listen to what other people have to say. Always listen to what you have to say. You can always take into account what other people have to say, but always just follow your heart.
How do you balance being in school and owning a business?
Ooh, how do I balance being in school and owning a business? Honestly, time management is everything. Keeping a schedule, keeping a planner, you know, dedicating different days to working on different things. So I don't have Friday classes, so Friday is the day that I either go to work or I work on my business. If I get an order, I have to, you know, prioritize getting the shipping labels done, prioritize making the design if it's not already made, and then being able to ship it out in a timely manner, because, you know, people are depending on you getting your products to them at a timely manner. So I feel like if I always put the customer first, but I'm putting myself first at the same time, you know, what can go wrong? And, you know, just really like working on time management, organization, writing things down. I used to never write things down. I used to always take mental notes, but when you have a business, you have to write things down, and you always have to keep track of expenses, stuff like that. So I think if I could answer that question in 3 simple ways, it would be time management, organization, and prioritizing are essential to managing school and business at the same time.
Where do you get your inspiration for your collection?
Ooh, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of a go with the flow kind of girl. So, I mean, of course, I have to, you know, organize, prioritize, and be good at time managing. But when it comes to like designs, I really like to just let things happen and let things come. I would say I'm definitely a flower child. I love flowers. I love nature. I love the 70s. Everyone kind of says I'm like the Black hippie. So I kind of let those vibes kind of come to me at different times. So for example, the marigold collection, I was literally texting my friend, like, I don't know what to name this collection. And I kind of just started looking at different flowers, looking at nature, and I was like, wow, marigold, that's it. And I love the color yellow too, so I kind of let the nature inspiration kind of come to me. I also did Dusty Rose, another flower, another kind of nature vibe. So I definitely would say that nature, the 70s, kind of being a flower child, letting all of that kind of take over, and that gives me inspiration for my collections.
As a first-time entrepreneur, what tools have been the most helpful to you to scale your business?
Etsy, you're great if you're watching this. If anyone from Etsy is watching this, I appreciate you. Etsy really helped me when I first started gauging my profit versus revenue, like learning the difference between that, because when I first started making jewelry, I would price things really low, because obviously I'm a college student and I understand that college students like to, you know, buy things for pretty cheap, but I had to understand that like you have to price things at a certain price even when you get things to, you know, be able to make money. And so Etsy kind of helps me keep track. Also, Etsy helps me see who visits my website, key terms when people search for me. Other tools to keep that help me are keeping like a budget journal to like write down different things. I always keep my receipts whenever I make jewelry, so that, you know, I'm keeping track of what I'm buying and how much it is. Constructive criticism is another tool that I use as an entrepreneur because you never know. You can be in your own little bubble sometimes and you need to like understand how the market feels about your products, and I think that's really important too. And I'm also kind of a sensitive person, so I kind of have to like let people tell me like it is so that I can be better and better myself and my business.
For returning customers, what new things can they expect to see in the near future?
You can expect to see more boho, more dainty necklaces. I'll probably never stop making tassels because I love tassels. That's where I got my start from. And you can also expect to see apparel. I'm so excited. I've always wanted to expand and become like a designer in that sense. So you guys can expect to see some really cool apparel, or I guess shirts, coming out soon. More boho, more 70s, more vintage, nostalgic stuff. It'll always be real. It'll always be from the heart. So I'm excited.
What's been your biggest support system and what keeps you going?
My biggest support system is my parents. I'm an only child and I love my parents so much. They really have been there from the start. My mom is my first investor and she's like, I'm never investing again. But yeah, she bought my business cards, my thank you notes, and I like literally can't be more happy that they're in my life and they're there for me. Also, all my friends, all the photographers who have ever shot for my jewelry, all my customers, like you guys, I have like the best customers ever. Like they're honestly so nice, they're so understanding. They always give me really good feedback, and so I feel like my customers are my support system in a sense. And then before my grandmother passed away in October, she was really supportive of me too. She was the one who, when I came home after my first day of work, said to quit. She was like, you don't need to be working there. You know, you can be on your own. She always said like you don't have to be qualified for a job. Just do your best and know that and believe in yourself and you'll be successful at it. And I think I never thought I'd be qualified to run my own business. I wasn't even a business major in college. I never even took a business class. But once again, I started my business, and I think her being there and supporting me through that really helped me get my feet off the ground. So I'm thankful to everyone who's ever, bought from Lillian E. I'm thankful to anyone who's ever liked a picture on Instagram from Lillian E. I'm thankful to anyone who's ever retweeted anything about Lillian E. Like, thank you, it means a lot, and you've been there to support me and help me. So yeah, thank you.
Is there anything that you would like to say to Lillian?
My grandmother? I just want to say, I don't want to get emotional or anything, but I just want to say thank you. I'm so grateful that you were my grandmother. I mean, this woman traveled all over the world and lived in so many different countries, so stylish, so smart, and I want to embody that, and I want to be a role model for other people, and I want other people to feel like that Lillian is their grandmother too, and that they're shopping from a brand that really wants to empower women and wants women to be themselves in any way possible. So yeah, I love you, Grandma.